This is Hugo Cabret. His father died in a fiery museum accident, working on a mysterious machine called the automaton. Hugo is currently trying to rebuild the automaton his father died working on, but he believes a message from his father will be presented. There's a boy who lives in a Paris train station. He is a thief, an orphan, and a liar. His name is Hugo Cabret. The book I read for my podcast is called The Invention of Hugo Cabret. It is written by Brian Selznick, and its genre is mystery/action/adventure. Oh, hello there. My name is Hugo Cabret. This is the bustling Paris train station where I live. I'm here to tell you about my story, The Invention of Hugo Cabret. Let's start with the setting, eh? 3 examples of places where it takes place are this bustling Paris train station, home to yours truly, Papa George's apartment, and the movie theater, where I go to see a movie. Papa George's apartment is where Isabel lives, along with Papa George's and Mama Jean. The time period is an earlier time period, 1930s to be exact, about 1931. In Paris. The setting is 1930s Paris, and it's all real, modeled after Paris. There may be a few liberties with exact places where they live, maybe fake, but it's good enough. So, the characters are myself, Hugo Cabret. I'm an orphan. My father died working on a mysterious machine, the automaton, which draws out a mysterious picture, which I will explain later. There's also Isabel, who's my good friend. She is a very bookish and eccentric girl, and she likes the movies. Is Papa George's goddaughter. Papa George's, he was once a very famous filmmaker and made many famous films, but now, for some strange reason, he's working at a toy booth in the train station. Also, there's Mama Jean, who is Isabel's godmother. I influenced the story because in my ultimate quest to rebuild the automaton and see what it has to the right, things happen around, like, when I start building the automaton, I'm stealing pieces from Papa George's, and so that causes him to catch me, and things all depend on me trying to construct the automaton. Things happen centered around that. The main problem in the story is that I am trying to rebuild the automaton, and on my quest to rebuild it, I meet many new people, and also get into a mystery that has yet to be solved. The story begins with me running through the tunnels of Paris to go spy on Papa George's. I spy on him so that I can steal some pieces from him. I walk casually up, like this. Oh, sorry, sir. My apologies. I walk casually up, reach out my hand, and somehow he grabs it and starts calling the station inspector. He makes me empty my pockets and finds my journal. I make all my drawings about the automaton in the journal. Without that journal, I'll never be able to rebuild the automaton. You see, my father died working on the automaton, and so when he did, I was forced to live with my uncle, a drunk alcoholic. But he disappeared, and I had no way to cash in his checks, so I've been living by myself, trying to keep alive by stealing food from shopkeepers like that one over there. If the station inspector catches me, he'll find out that my uncle is dead, and then he'll take me off to the orphanage. I do not want that to happen. So, he takes my notebook, journal, and he starts to go home. I plead for him to give it back, but he won't. Once I get to his house, he slams the door on my face and doesn't give it to me. He was very shocked when he saw my drawings of the automaton, saying, "Ghosts." And so, When I get to his house and slam the door, I throw a rock at the window, and the girl comes out. She says that she can get the journal back, but I don't want her to look at it. She says she'll try and get it back. The next day, I come back, and Papa George's has burned my notebook. I'm very depressed. The girl said that she could get it back for me, but she failed. I run back and keep the clocks. Depressed. I go to sleep. When I wake up, a note came there, saying that my notebook wasn't burned, and to meet whoever wrote the note at the bookshop. I go to the bookshop, hoping that it will be someone with information on where my journal is, and it is. Isabel, well, I figure out her name, when a man named Etonine comes in and calls her that, says that Papa George has never burned my notebook, and that if I ask him tomorrow, he may tell me that he still has it. While in the bookshop, I see a book I want, and I reach out my hand to steal it, but then Etonine, who has an eye patch, gives me money to buy the book. It's very nice. So I go back to Papa George's, and he says that he may not have burned my notebook. He gives me a job working at the booth. While I work, he does these amazing card tricks, and I wonder how he does it. I don't know. Oh, good day, sir. So, he does all these amazing card tricks. I continue to work, but he tells me that I may be gambling with my time, because he may have burned my notebook after all. As I continue to work, I remember that Etonine told me he works at the movie theater and he can sneak me in to see a movie on Tuesday when he gets back from a trip. And so, I go to the movie theater. It's amazing seeing the movie. It's incredible. It's as if I never knew that this is possible. But then, the person who runs it throws me out. He's very annoying. And so, I continue to work for Papa George's. I ask the girl, Isabel, how she's doing, and she tells me that she keeps looking and that Papa George's had hit it very well. So I continue to work, and one day, Papa George's accuses me of stealing the book. So I figure that Isabel must have found it. But Papa George's wants me never to be seen from him again. Isabel is there, too. And so I go to give her a goodbye hug. I noticed that when I was running away after coming back from the movies, I was chased by the station inspector, and we got away. But I noticed a key dangling from Isabel's chest. When I hug her, I take the key, because I believe that it will fit into the automaton. I've been working on the automaton for some time now, and I've rebuilt it without the journal. I take the key. In the back, there's a heart-shaped hole. The key fits into it perfectly. Right about when it's about to start, Isabel storms in and calls me a liar and a thief. She's a bit bigger than I am, and she overpowers me. But we watch in awe as the automaton begins to draw. At first, it's just making all these weird scribbles, but then it draws something. It's the moon with a face on it, and there's a rocket in its eye. Very mysterious. That is the end of part 1 of my story. To find out the rest, what happens next, read part 2, featured in this amazing work of literature. Now, I've got to get some food. I'm very hungry. Let's see. Bad apple. Bad apple. These rolls will work. I need this apple for food. It looks good enough.
Get over here, Hugo Cabret! I'm off to take you to the orphanage! Drat! He got away!
Look.
The Invention of Hugo Cabret is an amazing book. It's got a great plot, great characters, and the author, Brian Selznick, does this really cool thing where he drew all these amazing pictures and got real photos from 1930s movies to help move along the story. If I had to rate this book out of 5 stars, I'd give it 5. This is where Hugo lives, from Portland, Maine to London. movies from the 90s.
Oh, come on, really? Okay, guys, I'm filming back here, so...
I'm filming too. You just... It's going.
No! Stop filming!
Who's ready to shoot a Detective Tony movie?
Wrong studio, mister.
73B? I must have been 73A. Every time. Oh, man.